My Life in Motion, episode 10. Oh yeah, hey, what's up? Yep, back on the road, so you'll be seeing some vids going from Margaret River to Newcastle. Maybe. How good's this up your nose angle?
A few moments later.
This is actually pretty sick. Right? I really like the valley kind of vibe. It's good. For the journey back, I pretty much skipped a fair bit of what I'd already done on previous trips, so they've pretty much just boosted most of the way to the South Australian border here, and this is just like a spot where I pulled up for a good night little camp out. Alright, so I've got the transit going down the dirt road over some rock. I think it's only a few kilometres. See how we go, buddy. Let's see if my suspension lives. This is the border of WA and South Australia, right in the middle of this gully. We got Western Australia, the border, South Australia. Here begins the journey of driving across the Great Aussie Bight. Here we are on some cliff track on the Australian Bight. Look at how sick it looks. Yeah. Cool, eh? I was just standing over there, and then I was like, oh, that doesn't look very stable. Look at how big this giant crack is. Looks like the whole thing's gonna fall down. Yeah. I thought that the Great Australian Bight was supposed to be like what you just seen for days of driving, and then it turns out it's only about 4 hours worth, and I pretty much skipped most of it.
Look at this dickhead, eh?
Here we are driving between a couple of lakes on the way to Cactus, which is supposed to have alright surf. Cactus is cactus. So without any decent surf, I just decided I'd leave. So I left. That's pretty typical. Bit of a drive coming up. I'm on my way to Streaky Bay, and here's what it looks like from the skies.
Found a pretty sick spot for the van. Oh, here's a big one.
This place is called Whistling Rocks, and so there's like a large flat rock shelf out at sea, probably like 50 meters, and it has like an undercut. Every time a wave comes over it, it just like forces all the air out of these holes. So out on this peninsula, the southwest face is just absolutely pumping with swell, and
The other side is just completely calm. Barely even a wave.
after another hour of bashing the front suspension down these dirt roads, I've made it to Point Labatt, home to a sea lion colony. Alright, I'm back on the road. I'm driving to Vico.
Look, my head completely blocks out this cave. Hey.
With a hell of a lot more driving, I got to Adelaide and then realised civilization is not my thing, so I left. Jumped on a ferry, went across a lot more of South Australia, found this rock pool volcanic thing, then Victoria. So I have severe symptoms of coastline burnout at the moment, so I've taken a turn inland and I'm going to the Grampians.
going up Mount Wilson. That's the mountain up there. Beautiful views, I reckon. It's going to be epic. It's apparently a 13-kilometre walk, so I can't wait for the views at the top. It's going to be so good. I've even got my drone, you know, just for all the views that we're going to have. It's going to be brilliant.
I wasn't really expecting the clouds to move, but just as I got to the top, they did. I've parked up at this town called Hall's Gap, and I'm on a trail called The Pinnacle. I pretty much cooked my legs doing all that hiking, so let's jump back in the car, head to the coast. So I've basically just blitzed through the whole of the Victorian coast. But here's the Great Ocean Road, which was one of the most beautiful drives of my whole trip. I'd got the most perfect conditions, which was just 6 to 7 foot clean swell breaking right-handers on every single corner. And then I took a ferry across and skipped Melbourne, because I wasn't about that. And then went to Wilson's Prom. And there I was, the very next morning, climbing up Mount Oberon in the dark to make it up for sunrise. top of a mountain. And little did I know that this mountain was going to be the last hike that I completed on my entire trip.
A few moments later.
Just wanted to kindly let my van know that you can go f yourself! Whew. Yeah, that might have been a slight overreaction there. But what happened was I'd broken the rear door locking mechanism. So as soon as I was to shut that door, that was the back of the van shut off. And which meant I didn't have my tools, my mountain bike, my surfboard, and probably most importantly my shower. Ended up looking for the part and just chasing it from the bottom of the country all the way up the east coast, and eventually I just ended up in Newcastle. Which meant that I'd finished my lap around Australia, and yeah, on that extremely sour note, let's roll on the highlights. Moving on! Moving on!
So how's your...
Nate, if you can run fast, he'd be like going f*** yourself.
Ready to have some crayfish for breakfast?
No, just the usual, mate. Avocado, eggs, bacon, hash browns, a bit of peri mayo, some sourdough toast.